The final approach into Minot International Airport was meant to be routine. For the passengers and crew aboard Delta Connection Flight 5871, the journey from Minneapolis was nearly over. Below, the patchwork fields of North Dakota stretched out under a hazy July sky. The city of Minot, alive with its annual state fair, grew larger in the windows. Inside, the hum of the engines was comforting. Seatbelts were fastened, tray tables stowed. Suddenly the world tilted violently. The Bombardier CRJ-900 banked hard to the right wing dipped sharply, the left shot skyward, a wrenching, evasive action. Loose items slid across surfaces, a collective gasp filled the air. The ground rushed up in the windows, terrifying and disorienting. Flight attendants secured in their jump seats, scanned the cabin, minds racing. In the cockpit, the pilot's eyes were outside, hands firm on the controls, bodies pressed by G-forces. The aircraft held the steep bank for seconds, then leveled out. The stomach-churning sensation subsided, but dread lingered. A heavy silence fell over the cabin, thick with unspoken questions. The routine was broken, the illusion of safety pierced. For the 76 souls on board, the final moments of their journey had become a terrifying brush with disaster. It was Friday, July 18, 2025, a day of celebration in Minot, North Dakota. The North Dakota State Fair was in full swing, the largest event in the state. As part of the festivities, a B-52H Stratofortress from Minot Air Force Base was scheduled for a ceremonial flyover. The B-52, an icon of American air power, is a familiar sight for locals. The flyover was timed with the fair's evening rodeo, meant to awe the crowd. Meanwhile, Minot International Airport continued its routine operations. Delta Connection 5871, operated by SkyWest, was on final approach to runway 31. Following a standard route, the pilots, in communication with the tower, prepared for landing. Just another day. But on this Friday, the worlds of civilian and military aviation were about to collide. The B-52's celebratory flight and the Delta jet's routine landing were on intersecting paths. Neither crew was aware of the other. Disaster loomed above the unsuspecting fairgrounds. In the Delta cockpit, the approach was by the book runway in sight, gear down, flaps set. Suddenly, a dark, colossal shape appeared out of the haze, the B-52 bomber, flying perpendicular to their path. The bomber wasn't on radar, nor announced by air traffic control, a ghost in the system. Instantly, the pilot's training took over. No time for questions, only action. The captain shoved the yoke forward and right, diving and banking to avoid collision. At that moment, the TC-AS blared, "Traffic! Traffic! Pull up! Pull up!" But the pilots had already reacted, trying to go under the bomber. The B-52 filled their windscreen. They were that close. The two aircraft came within an estimated 500 feet vertically, a terrifyingly small margin. At flying speeds, 500 feet can vanish in a blink. The Delta pilot's split-second decision likely saved everyone on board, and possibly the B-52 crew as well. They had faced the most primal danger in aviation, a near mid-air collision. The automated system sounded the alarm, but it was human instinct that averted catastrophe. Through sheer skill, the pilots threaded the needle. The system had failed, but the crew had not. Disaster was avoided by seconds and feet. As the plane leveled out, an eerie silence filled the cabin. Passengers exchanged wide-eyed glances, hearts pounding, knuckles white. The adrenaline of the plunge gave way to chilling realization. They'd been in real danger. One passenger later recalled, "One second we were floating down, the next in a dive, I thought the wing would hit." Another remembered the silence. No one screamed after the first second, it was just dead quiet. You could feel the fear. Flight attendants moved through the cabin, calm but tense, offering quiet reassurance. They had no answers, only the task of maintaining order. The plane continued its approach, but the atmosphere was forever changed. Every bump, every engine noise now triggered anxiety. Passengers stared out windows, hyper-vigilant, trust in the system shaken. They were no longer passive travelers, but survivors. The landing, when it came, was not relief, but the end of an ordeal. The routine was gone, replaced by a shared trauma. The invisible network meant to keep them safe had failed. The cabin was left in stunned, silent shock. Flight 5871 landed safely, but the questions began immediately. News of the near miss spread quickly. Witnesses had seen the B-52 flying unusually close to the airliner. The FAA and NTSB launched a full investigation seeking flight data and cockpit voice recorders from both aircraft. Minot Air Force Base confirmed a B-52 flyover and acknowledged an air proximity event. The Air Force pledged full cooperation, stating, "The safety of our crews and the public is our top priority." For passengers, official statements brought little comfort. They wanted answers, not bureaucracy. Delta and SkyWest issued apologies and support, but the incident exposed a terrifying vulnerability. The sky, assumed to be meticulously managed, had failed. Two massive aircraft had nearly collided. The investigation now faced the monumental task of finding out how and why. The public demanded more than reassurances, they wanted change. Investigators soon saw this was not a single person's error, but a systemic failure. The central question, how did a B-52 enter the approach path of a commercial jet unnoticed? The answer lay in the division between military and civilian airspace management. Minot's airspace is a patchwork. FAA for the airport, the Air Force for its own operations. The B-52, flying a low-altitude visual flight rules mission, may not have been visible on civilian radar. Communication protocols should have ensured coordination between the Air Force and the civilian tower. Did someone fail to notify the tower? Was information relayed in a non-standard way? Multiple layers of the safety net failed at once. Technology is powerful, but not infallible. In the end, it was see and avoid, the pilot's eyes and instincts, that saved the day. As the jet taxied to the gate, the captain addressed the cabin directly. "Folks, we had to take an aggressive evasive maneuver on final approach. We had a very close encounter with a military aircraft that was not where it was supposed to be. My first officer and I acted to keep you safe." His honesty was stunning, validating the passengers' fear and restoring some trust. The incident over Minot is a wake-up call. Civilian and military aircraft must never again come so close without flawless coordination. As airspace grows more crowded, authorities must review protocols for military flyovers near civilian airports. Are communication channels robust? Are procedures clear? Can technology better integrate radar pictures? The sky is a shared resource. Its safety depends on trust and perfect coordination. The pilots did their job, the system did not. This near tragedy was averted by seconds and skill. Next time we might not be so lucky. The public deserves more than an investigation. They deserve a commitment to real change. The lessons from this day must be learned, so two worlds never again come so close to disaster.